Good afternoon. High noon. Thank you for the Aspen Fire bell. It is Wednesday, February 11th. This is the regular meeting of the Board of County Commissioners. We have a pretty good docket, but we're going to start with a proclamation recognizing the tenure and work and diligence of Kelly McNicholas Curry. So we're going to start with a proclamation. And then Grassroots is going to yell at me for stepping away from the mic.
If you take them and turn them like this, they can still catch you.
So,
Well, thank you. Can I fix your coat?
please. I admire your Kelly Green. A proclamation in recognition and appreciation of Kelly McNicholas Curry's service to Pitkin County. Whereas Kelly McNicholas Curry has dedicated the last 7 years of her professional career to public service and representing the people of Pitkin County, serving as County Commissioner for District 2 with integrity, compassion, professionalism, and whereas she played a key role in advancing critical community priorities, including the voter-approved housing tax and sustained support for the Aspen-Pitkin County Housing Authority, strengthening housing stability for residents and the workforce, and whereas she has been a vocal advocate for working parents and championed family and parental leave policies for both employees and change at the state level, establishing FAMLI, modeling a culture that supports working families and enables public servants to thrive both inside and outside the workplace. And whereas she's been a steadfast advocate for child care funding, mental health services, healthcare access, and the overall well-being of the Pitkin County community. And whereas she consistently advocated for Pitkin County as an organization and community partner, including her leadership during airport fixed-base operator negotiations that help achieve forward-thinking and equitable lease terms. And whereas, alongside fellow commissioners, she supported grant programs for individuals and businesses to help bridge economic hardship during the COVID-19 downturn. And whereas her commitment to conservation and water protection and her leadership supporting the designation of the Crystal River as wild and scenic, advancing both environmental stewardship and local water rights. And whereas she's brought warmth, humanity, and famously exceptional Christmas cookies to her service, reminding us that effective leadership is grounded not only in policy, but in people. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Pitkin County Board of County Commissioners extends its deepest gratitude to Kelly McNicholas Curry for her exemplary service, principled leadership, and lasting contributions to Pitkin County, and wishes her every success as she begins her next chapter as the city manager of Montpelier, Vermont. Confident she will bring the same dedication, integrity, and heart to her new community. Onward with gratitude and best wishes.
I want to say, I'll be the first, that Kelly and I, when she was first running unopposed, and I was running opposed, she took me door to door and taught me new techniques on how to knock on doors and not run away quickly. And I don't remember if we brought cookies with us, but we might have. But she works hard. She's very diligent, well-spoken, articulate, well-written, and I think that Vermont is very lucky to have her. And she's promised us syrup.
Or maple cream.
Or maple cream.
And I would like to add that in amongst the board members, we know that Kelly has a big impact statewide, but the county may not know that as a whole. She is a fierce advocate for people's rights across the state and has represented Pitkin County's point of view and encouraged us to choose certain points of view so that she could represent us in making life better for people all across Colorado. And that is significant from our tiny little county here.
Thank you all. Right.
No, I would add that Kelly's, I've walked in her shadows for the past year through CCAT, through CCI, CC4CA, And she has an outsized influence in each of those organizations and carried, again, I think Pitkin does punch above its weight in the state, and I think that's largely, a tribute to the efforts of Kelly and her work over the past 7 years. So thank you.
Thank you.
And drive safely.
Thank you. Say a few words, I think.
Maybe you should.
Well, this is so nice. On any bad day, I'm going to just look at this and get a little buoyed and think of you all. And I just want to really extend my thanks to my colleagues on the board. Some of these things are passion projects for me, but none of it would have gotten done without the support and collaboration with all of the board members and with former board members, Steve Child and George Newman, who I also adore and appreciate my time with. And, Pitkin County is my chapter here in Colorado. And, it's been the one place that I've worked the whole time I've lived in the Roaring Fork Valley. And it's been the most incredible organization to work with and work for and to lead and represent. And you all just embody the values of stewardship and open communication and collaboration and, bold, forward thinking that this world needs. And you put people at the center of it. And I've been so proud to just be associated with all of you professionally and personally. And I'm carrying some really meaningful friendships that are going to, come with me to Vermont. My love affair with Aspen may be ending, but my love affair with many of you will continue. And I'm just so grateful for all this. And this is such a nice way to be regarded. So thank you. Thank you all.
Jeff, do you want to see if anybody else wants to?
Would anyone like to make public comment regarding Kelly, regarding the proclamation? Cindy Hooven. Good to see you.
I'm so happy to see you.
Wonderful to see you, Kelly. Just thriving, and I know I've already written to Kelly, so she's heard all this. I think Mount Peliar is going to be so lucky to have you. It's just the right fit for them. And all the experience here that you have and all the things that they need and that this world needs. And thank you for all you've done for us.
Thank you. I have a great picture of Cindy and Greg Poshman and I sitting at my kitchen table hashing up ways to strengthen growth management. And I do feel like it was like groundwork for some of the amazing improvements and updates to the code that we're going to see. So thanks, Cindy. Yeah.
Be safe.
Further comments, questions?
Speaking of pictures, I've pulled up the first time I met Kelly McNicholas Curry. It's a photo of her breastfeeding at the table, and I was reporting on our new commissioner and some of the stuff you were doing internally for the county staff to have a more well-rounded family, which was the first time I wanted to work here. And I'm lucky to have gotten that opportunity and that you've all created that. So thank you. And that's a good photo as well.
And Aloysius is 6.5 now.
We're sending that back to her new community to show them that she's a hard worker, multitasker.
Yes.
Thank you. We have a pretty full agenda this afternoon. Any additions or deletions to the agenda? There's one resolution that requires an update on everyone's desk, which is just striking paragraph 6, which is from the eHealth innovation. It was language that was cut and paste and should not be in the resolution. It was appropriate for an ordinance, and we will accept it as amended. Any additions or deletions?
No additions or deletions. The grant, I'm trying to figure out which number it is.
eHealth is number 17 on the agenda.
Yes, but there is number 18. I just want to let you know there is a change in 18. We will still keep it on the agenda, but we will be walking in an updated number for the grant application, and Kevin will have that when he walks in. And that's the last item.
Excellent. So for the board, there's an update to the resolution number 17 and an update to the financials on number 18, Kevin Warner. If your agenda only goes to 17, it's old.
I don't have an agenda item 18 on even my new agenda.
This came to us yesterday. But that was-
We did republish it for the public. It's number 18. It is going to be, it is an emergency consideration for a DOLA grant as it relates to Phillips.
Excellent.
I can get that information to both of you hard copy before.
Excellent. Public comment unrelated to the 18 items now on today's agenda. Public comment.
They can't hear you.
No, that's why we did a coffered ceiling, so people couldn't in the room actually hear us.
Okay,
It's an architectural element.
okay. Red is on?
Red is on.
Okay. Ellen Anderson. Good afternoon, Commissioners.
3 minutes
Michael
started.
Kinsley. Okay. We'd like to demonstrate the science of why ultrafine particles are especially toxic to the human body and therefore must be measured separately from larger airborne particles. Your airport air quality consultants say this is not necessary, but the latest science shows that it is necessary. This glass cubic container represents how particles are conventionally measured by their weight per volume. It's a volume thing. This tiny BB represents one ultrafine particle. The softball represents the relative size of a PM 2.5 particle. Its diameter is 25 times that of the BB, or the ultrafine. Now, notice this spherical glass vase, which is approximately the size of the softball, filled with tiny BBs. It represents how one PM 2.5 softball weighs about the same as thousands of the ultrafines, the BBs. Now, we're going to put the softball in the glass cube and pour in the BBs. The BBs, of course, fill the open space around the softball. This mixture of softball and BBs demonstrates the way Picken County plans to measure particles per cubic meter of air, lumping the weight of the PM 2.5, the softball, and the tiny particles, the BBs, all together. But this method does not measure the true danger of the ultrafines. All these tiny BBs collectively have about 200 times the surface area of one softball. That's what matters for health. It means the BBs, the ultrafines, are subjecting your lungs to far more toxins. The bigger particles, the softball, can damage your lungs, for sure, but at least they stay in your lungs because they're so big. However, the ultrafines, the BBs, are so tiny they can travel directly from your lungs into your bloodstream and therefore lodge in every organ in your body. And jet engine exhaust ultrafines often come coated with metals and other carcinogens. This next step is important. We pour the softball and the BB mixture into this bottle, which represents your lungs. See, it says lungs. We'll hold it. We attach the lungs. Okay, then we attach the lungs to this bottle, which is your body. Okay, like that. We open a valve which represents the ability of the tiny ultrafine BBs to travel from your lungs into your blood and your entire body, while the PM 2.5, the softball, is too big to go beyond the lungs.
Well done.
Conclusion, the point. Ultrafines must be measured separately by count and size distribution, not just by total weight, to understand the true health threat to people who live, work, and ski near our airport. Burlingame, North 40, Truscott, Airport Business Center, Buttermilk, Lumberyard. Many other airports in the U.S. and Europe, Logan, for one, right now, as we speak, are measuring ultrafines. Commissioners, you well know that per the county home rule charter, you have the duty to protect the air and water. You must measure ultrafines as a part of protecting the air. This is deadly serious. Follow today's science. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
After all these years, that is the most entertaining you've ever been, Ellen.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's quite a compliment.
Further public comments unrelated to today's agenda. Thank you. Commissioner comments unrelated to today's agenda. Patty Clapper.
I'm just going to say that in doing a little homework, I found a section of the FAA law, quote unquote, that prohibits the mitigation or the management of emissions from jets. It's in the law, so I suggest that if anyone, members of the public, wish to address emissions from jets, that they need to address the law first to change that law so that those emissions can be addressed, mitigated, managed, whatever. Because to be working on our end to mitigate emissions from jets, we would be in violation of federal law. I don't have the law in front of me. It's upstairs on my desk, but I think that's an important aspect. So, and that would be a challenge, but it might be a challenge worth members of the public undertaking if they want to move forward addressing emissions from airplanes at our airport. And that was my first note. The second, again, I want to wish Kelly all the best. And I will keep an eye on your kids till they are out of school and ready to take on a new life in.
Watch out, Vermont.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't even quite know where Vermont is, so I'm going to have to get a map so I can come visit.
Well, calving season is underway, which means that we're probably going to get some snow and storms. That's the good news. The weather is way too good for calving. It's just way too easy. So I'm expecting howling blizzards in the next little while. That's my forecast.
And I can't wait to bring the grandbabies down to see the cows.
Kelly Green, final commissioner comments.
I want to thank everyone who applied to fill the vacancy that I'm creating by taking a different job and moving on. We have, I think, excellent applicants, and the community should feel proud that a number of people have stepped up to consider this role, to consider taking on the work for the remainder of the year, to consider running for election. I also do just want to give a shout out to the Clerk and Recorder's Office, which was the first place I landed here in the county, and I continue to just admire their work. And they have a hard job sometimes being frontline staff, and the elections department is going to have a hard year with all the attacks on democracy that are happening in the country. I encourage everyone to consider being an election judge. You will see firsthand just how secure and transparent our elections are in Pitkin County, in Colorado, and in the U.S. And, I just wish vigilance for everyone as we move into this election year. And Godspeed to the folks who step up to run for elected office. It's been very rewarding, and for anyone who might consider it, I hope that they will find it rewarding as well. And best of luck to my colleagues on making that selection. You have a tough choice ahead of you, I think. So that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Kara or Rye? So we have 10 applicants that will appear here on February 17th for 4 hours of interviews. There'll be 2 groups of 5. And Kara's producing and working on difficult questions for each of the applicants to fill Kelly's seat. Consent items. The minutes of January 28th, regular meeting, we were all present. Looking to move forward on both the consent items, and then the appointment to the Citizen Board was strictly the APSHA appointments by this board in conjunction with the City of Aspen.
I would like to, I'll make a motion, but I would like to just point out appointing the new board members, because there is a list, if you don't mind.
Please.
Because I really want to thank the people that step forward and apply for all of our citizen boards and commissions as volunteers. We couldn't do the work we do without your help, so thank you. So we are appointing Allison Guda for the regular senior, she's going to be new, on the Senior Services Council. We're very excited with the enthusiasm and passion she brings forward. Amos Anderson, a longtime local, who I've known since he was born, I think, is going to be a new member of our Board of Adjustment. Jacqueline Matthews will be the new alternate. She's taking over a term on the APSHA board. And Peter is at Grenny, is moving from the alternate position to the regular position on the APSHA board. So I want to thank those folks for coming forward. We appreciate it. I'll make a motion to approve both items in the consent agenda.
I'll second.
I'm going to give Kelly the tie.
Yeah.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So we have individual consideration items, first reading, and these are set for public hearings on February 25th. First up is PACT.
Oh, we forgot our hats.
Oh, I'll bring them next
No,
time.
I got
have
them
some?
upstairs on my desk. I got a new one.
Do you want to join Rally? I see you got the logo wear on. You're welcome to join.
I have my support behind me
Okay.
in case I need it.
Excellent.
Lots of support, as we can see. But Raleigh Backrack, the PACT administrator with the Public Health Department, here for a cost-sharing MOU that would be between Picken County, City of Aspen, and Town of Snowmass Village for the PACT program. Specifically, this MOU outlines local contributions per each jurisdiction for PACT expenses that would not otherwise be covered by our grants. The reason behind this MOU, I think we're all pretty familiar with the grant volatility in this nation, and PACT has experienced this in the last year or so, and we anticipate to continue to experience this in the next few years. Since our existence, PACT has solely relied on grants, so that's been about 7 years or so. So the question at hand is, how can we make our funding stream a little more sustainable? So by bringing in some local dollars from each jurisdiction, we could have a more diverse funding portfolio. That will not only increase our competitiveness for future grant applications, but more importantly, it will ensure that we can maintain full operations, aka have a full team. The details of the MOU, so as you can see, there's a cost percentage breakdown, the up to amounts per each jurisdiction. And those percentages have been agreed upon by jurisdictional managers. John Peacock was a huge help in getting those conversations rolling. I know Kara's been involved in some of those conversations as well. But the breakdown is based in some logic. We looked at calls for service per agency and then PACT utilization per agency. So there is some justification there. For the 2026 year, county funding would be coming from the public health reserves. So my understanding is we would not need to go for a budget supplemental. City of Aspen, the council has already approved APD's amount for their 2026 year. And then for Town of Snowmass, my understanding is that they would need to go for a budget supplemental if this MOU were to move forward with signature. Just touching on goals before I open it up for questions and feedback. Obviously, the immediate goal is to try to have this MOU executed for the 2026 budget year. But longer-term goal would be to revisit and renew this MOU on a yearly basis and try to have long-term local funding. Of course, that would be based on PACT funding needs as well as, of course, local funding availability. With that, we would promise to maintain our current grants through the contract term as well as pursue additional grants. The ultimate goal would be to have majority of our funding come from grants and then have this local funding as supplemental as needed, so long as grant funding maintains. At this time, we do have 3 grants. The latest one came to you all in December, and that is a shorter term grant as far as we know. But from an administrative capacity perspective, 3 grants is probably the maximum my position would be able to take on. Questions? Concerns?
So, a couple questions for you.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a way we can use the outsourced grant funding team to supplement Rally's work? So, everyone's
Do you want
smiling.
me to answer
everyone's
that?
smiling in the room. So,
I was waiting
yeah.
for, I think that right now is really focused on, sorry, you're talking about the third party.
Sustainable
Yes,
third
and we do,
parties.
and we have tapped into
Okay.
them
Yes,
for
and
these
they've been
grants.
amazing. They've helped us
Just trying to leverage you,
grab
multiply
2.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we have 2 grants because of their help.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. further questions for Ellie?
Not a question, just a comment. Again, we love this program. It is so beneficial to our community and to our first responders. Everybody who's, arrives at the scene or behind the scenes at the scene. And so whatever we can do to help support the program to maintain and to whatever you guys need, you can always come to us.
Thanks, Patty.
It's a great program.
Any of your partners at the table want to chime in as well? I appreciate their being here.
Anyone looking to come up? Yeah.
Please.
Hi.
Hi. And just introduce yourself.
Yeah,
please.
Kat Bush, co-responder clinician with the PAC team and team lead. I've been in this role for 4.5 years. Tomorrow's actually my last day with the program, just moving on to different clinical work. But we have worked really hard to make this program recognized in our community as an asset and a value, not only to community members, but to law enforcement, which they have been the greatest supports. And when Raleigh told me that we were looking at getting potentially local funding, I actually cried, because that has been something that's been a goal of ours the entire time, just looking at the sustainability of this program and ensuring that it can continue to deliver what it has been for the last 7 years. And we have looked at times where we're like, we can't hire somebody additionally because of the funding, or we had to look at which positions are we prioritizing for this. And so to have a little bit more flexibility with that, I think would be huge. So we're excited that this is even on the table to be looking at, and that our law partners are kind of backing this financially, where they have been kind of just supportive wise for the last 7 years. So thank you.
Thanks for joining us.
Best of luck to you.
Thank you.
Sheriff.
I'd like to just kind of dovetail and add that PACT is so important to this community, co-responders. They're not always co-responders in time. I just told this story at another going away party for Kat next door. And I was a not young, but Aspen cop, and you'll get the gist of it. This man in severe pain down below Clark's Market, it kidney stones. The best I can do as a cop was, I think I hear the sirens. The sirens are getting close, right? And that's all I can do for this guy. Now, when we go to mental health issue calls, it's kind of the same thing. Like, okay, packed one's on the way. Dude, I'm here with you. I'll hold your hand, but Kat's on her way. Packed is on their way. So she and they have been my heroes in patrol. They're like the first responders, emergency responder, and they just kind of take a huge load off of patrol, because we're trained to a certain level of how to deal with people. We're not the true professionals in that, like Pact and Kat is. So I wish you luck on your next career moves and everything else. So thank you.
Thanks, Michael.
Thank you all. It's as we've approached 2026, it's been interesting to hear the pressure we've had at the commissioner table around human services and health services. So we just drafted a letter to our congressmen and senators describing the impact of the loss of federal funding. And so we're feeling your pain at the board table. And so thank you for Pitkin bringing people together. So it's neighbors helping neighbors, I think, was the slogan at the IMT. So
Yes, it was.
I will not forget that. So Kara.
I think one piece I would just add is credit to the PAC program and what you all have created. I just want you all to know that my peer in Winter Park, you might know of him, was one of the first things I think when he's landed, reached out and wanted to look at how to bring PACT into other communities because of how impactful and critical it is. Yeah. So, and credit to what you all have stood up and sustained as a solid model.
Further. Thank you again to Snowmass and to Aspen. Francie.
Yeah,
please.
I would say on the radio this morning on my way in, it was, I think it was 1A, and they were interviewing pastors who are in protest to the actions of ICE throughout the country, and about how clergy from all over the country have been getting together to do large protests of clergy, and of the Archbishop, maybe he's just called the Bishop of the Episcopal Church, spoke about neighbor to neighbor and taking care of your neighbor, and it was very moving listening to these people speak about how some of the religious people who are speaking out today are not promoting neighbor to neighbor and taking care of each other and welcoming people into their community. And it just made me think of you guys when I heard it and what you guys do to make people feel comfortable and welcomed and okay. So thank you for what you do.
Thank you.
Do I have a
I'd
motion?
like to move to
Oh,
approve on
thank you.
first reading and set for public hearing on February 25th, a resolution approving a memorandum of understanding between Picken County, City of Aspen, Town of Snowmass Village to share the cost of the Picken area co-responder team's expenses not otherwise covered by external grant funding.
I'll second.
Kelly and Patricia, thank you. Any further comments, questions, deliberations? All those in favor?
Aye. Thanks again, thank you
Thank you.
very
Thank you
much.
so much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good to see you. The next two require Mr. Holsinger.
I'm gonna ask to be elevated here. I think. Raise my hand. Okay. Which one is first here? Which one would you like to hear first?
We would like to hear the
Commissioner
encroachment license for the tune of $100, please.
Gotcha. Yeah. I will share.
I want to say paradise, but that's later, and that's true.
That's later.
Yeah.
You'll see this property again, so it's all related. But my name is Paul Holsinger. I'm the Agriculture and Conservation Easement Manager for Picken County Open Space and Trails. This item, the encroachment license with the Roaring Fork Transportation Authority, has to do with a electric line that was put about 4 feet inside of the RAFTA right-of-way, which is this kind of yellow strip that goes through
Oh, we're on
several
that one?
properties. I'll orient
We're
you
on-
here. Whoa!
We skipped one. We're
Oh,
on-
sorry, we switched Carvelli.
Yeah. So you have to just go down a little bit further in the packet.
Carvelli was above the encroachment license.
Okay,
Apologies, Paul.
I can switch up.
That's how it is on our agenda.
You
We
got
would
it.
like to hear Carvelli
I'm like, wait a
first.
minute, I'm like,
Okay, going back to Carver.
he was testing us, and we passed.
I just gave you the
It's a
option.
choice. I was
Yeah.
like, I want to hear the $100 encroachment.
You'll just have to wait, I guess. Okay, switching gears. This is a little more fun. So this is the a conservation easement that we've been negotiating with Peter Carvelli, who is in the room right now. Not very many opportunities come along where we have a landowner come through and express wishes to donate a conservation easement to open space and trails. I think in my tenure here, it's been maybe twice. Most recently, the 5R Ranch, Tom Rupert, he donated a conservation easement to Picken County Open Space and Trails, and this is just like that. Peter has owned this 7-acre piece of land, which is highlighted at the north end of this map here. This kind of inholding neighborhood is at the confluence of Conundrum Creek and Castle Creek. So the Conundrum Creek trailhead and hot springs, let me switch my cursor so you can see. The trailhead is right here at the bottom. His property is right here. It's bordered by the Forest Service on the north, and Castle Creek runs through the property. When he purchased the property, he told the landowners that he would not develop it beyond what's already there, or improve it improve the property in a way that substantially changes that parcel. None of that was in writing, but Peter nonetheless came to us and said that he wanted to make that happen. And the best way to do that right now is with a conservation easement to perpetually restrict the property. He got the idea from Greg Poshman, who is not here, which I wish he was, to come talk to Open Space and Trails. So we've been working with Peter to develop a conservation easement to fulfill his goals and to ensure that property remains the way it is substantially into the future.
Paul, can I just interrupt for 1 sec?
Yeah.
You said Capitol Creek, but did you mean
Oh,
Castle?
Castle Creek. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
thanks. Just making sure I wasn't completely crazy.
Nope, just me. I'm crazy. So some of the important aspects of the property here is the creek that runs through it, Castle Creek that runs through it. Peter actually owns both sides of the creek, which is significant, and we can protect both sides, make sure that there's further protections moving forward, that riparian system stays intact. This area all to the north is a beautiful bench. A riparian area here has some really nice cottonwood grows through it that no doubt provide great habitat for wildlife in the area. And the house sits right here. Let me switch back to that cursor you can see. House sits right here. And the biggest restriction on there that's going in place is to ensure that house right there, which is about 1,650 square feet, will remain that size except for possibly in the future an additional 800 square feet that we're really allocating for an ADU in the garage here. But to build in some flexibility, we said that it could be attached to the primary residence here.
Where's the access?
The driveway is right off of the road, right here. And it's the garage that's right on Castle Creek Road, right before the turn to Conundrum Creek. With that, I'll take any questions. I think I've covered most of it. This is a 2-reading ordinance. You'll see it again at the end of this month.
Actually, questions for Paul?
So since there was a lot of mining activity up in that neck of the woods, as we do, I think, with any time we take any action on property, we do an environmental assessment for, especially in this area, for mine tailings. Is that part of the process, or is it pretty you can usually walk it and tell?
Yeah. There was no evidence of any mining activity on this property. Peter owns the mineral rights, so we've added language to restrict any sort of mineral exploration in the future. Okay. So we didn't need to go through some additional due diligence reporting to make that happen.
Okay. So that being said, I have one more thing. I want to thank you, Peter. This is huge. And I know you've been a member of our community for a long time. And I just, at the very top of my list was a thank you to Peter. So thank you.
Francie?
Yeah, I also wanted to say thank you. I love that valley. I taught at Country Day for a while, so I used to spend some time on that road. And I just think it's incredibly generous and an amazing thing to do. So thank you.
I guess I'll echo the comments. I spent a couple of years working on the Bucksfound Music Campus, so what a stunning valley, and thank you for preserving and protecting it. So, thank you. Yeah.
So if you would like,
Please.
I would like to make a
Well, we'd
motion.
also welcome if Peter wants to say anything.
Oh, I don't have anything to say. I'm just here to
Thank you. Thanks for
Are we
joining us.
entertaining today?
so far, so good.
Thank you.
So I would like to make a motion to approve on first reading, set for second reading and public hearing on the 25th of February, an ordinance of the Board of County Commissioners of Pickens County, Colorado, approving and accepting the deed of conservation easement for the Carvelli property, which we have displayed on our map.
I'll second.
Excellent. Sorry.
Also
Paul.
mention before we move on, there are some edits to the conservation easement.
Okay.
There's some typos and there's a couple sections that we're still working some details out. Hopefully we'll have that worked out by second reading. But I'll be able to explain that when we get there.
Yeah.
They don't substantially change the protections that we're proposing.
And apologies for Mr. Poshman. He is in a morning appointment and hopes to join us. So I apologize that he's not with us for this reading. So thank you. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you again. I won't be here on second reading, so I'm thanking you twice, 3 times or 4 times.
Thank you both for the work on this. Thank you. Now to the $100 encroachment.
Thank you. Yes. So to orient us right now, this is the Snowmass Conoco gas station right here in the Highway 82 Snowmass Canyon running through, just to get us in the same place here. The Rio Grande right-of-way runs through our entire valley, as most of us know. It's owned by RAFTA, Roaring Fork Transportation Authority, from Glenwood all the way to Woody Creek. From Woody Creek, Pitkin County actually owns it, well, a significant amount of it. And it houses or encompasses the Rio Grande Trail. So we work pretty closely with RAFTA in this. But we were, a couple years ago, putting in an electric line to supply irrigation power to Wheatley open space, which is directly across from that Conoco. You can see the irrigated fields here. We've had several lessees over there. We've had the potatoes for Woody Creek grown there. We've had some just grazing happening, and I believe you heard at your last regular meeting Drew's presentation about the Wheatley open space ag lease, which is coming for a second reading today. So this is related to that. The electric line that we got our hands slapped a little bit is attached to, it comes from an existing power pole, which you can actually see. Oh, it's right here, this little white dot. You can barely see it. I mean, in this, there it is. And in this map, we're outside of that right of way. But when you talk to an actual surveyor, we're about 4 feet inside of the right of way. So we had to work with RAFTA to make sure that we could keep that in place, and they are fiercely protective of that right of way for good reason. They need to make sure that that right of way doesn't have any sort of permanent infrastructure, because they need to protect the railroad banking status of that, so that we can continue our license to have a trail, and they can make sure that that remains a public asset that goes up and down through our valley. So the way around it, if we were a private entity, they would probably have required us to tear that out and put it where it's supposed to be. But we negotiated this license agreement to leave it in place. If we need to remove it in the future, we will. But as it is right now, we'd like to just keep it where it is to continue to power our pumping infrastructure, which isn't in this aerial, but it kind of sits right over here, and it'll help irrigate that field that Drew will present to you in hopefully not too long. But that's where we're at. Any questions regarding that?
Questions for Paul?
Yeah.
Francie?
So I'm confused about what you said. A surveyor would say it's inside the property, but RAFTA says it's outside?
No. I apologize. When you look at this map, the GIS map that I have up right now, the line would be outside of the RAFTA right-of-way. But when you have a survey on the ground,
Oh, I see.
it
Okay.
is.
So the map is off a little bit.
All I was doing was illustrating how close we were.
Yeah, right.
That's all.
Thank you.
So why not move the pedestal and the power line, call up Holy Cross, and call it a day?
It would cost unnecessarily, I guess unnecessary costs, when we could just continue to leave it in place and just pay $100. It seemed like the right choice. We did offer. We got into an issue where we had to go through another process to get back into the right-of-way to take things out, and we felt like maybe we just do one process, getting a license, and moving on.
Shortest path.
Yeah.
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 Further questions for Paul?
Thanks to RAFTA for partnering with us. Again.
Motion for Paul.
I'll move to approve the ordinance approving an encroachment license. Seems like that should be
Excellent.
longer.
Francie, thank you. Further commissioner discussion?
And this will be set for public hearing on February 25th, and we'll see the cleaned up versions in the packets at that time.
I'll second that too.
Excellent. Further commissioner comments or discussion?
Thanks, Paul.
All those in favor? Paul, thank you.
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Unanimity at the board table.
And thank you for being the messenger with my gifts to the, thank you.
So from above ground to underground, Mr. Pettit.
I have a request that we don't let Mr. Pettit speak unless he stays employed by Pickens County till after I leave.
We don't know when that's going to be, though, do we?
Thought we had a deal there.
Thank you. I'm Brian Pettit. I'm the Public Works Director. This should be an easy one. We, based on the redevelopment at the landfill and the construction of a retention pond and a service road that needed to service the retention pond, we had to move a service line, a Holy Cross service line, about 100 yards of the service line. So it was outside Holy Cross's easement. That organization requires an underground easement for that move. So this is just what Holy Cross requires. The move has already been made, and this just establishes an easement so that they can service their utility.
Excellent. Questions for Brian regarding?
Thank you for taking care of the details like this.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think we're going straight for a motion.
I'll
Great.
make a motion
Perfect.
to approve ordinance of the Board of County Commissioners granting an underground right-of-way easement to Holy Cross Energy.
I'll second.
Second.
And set for public hearing on the 25th.
And thank you for that.
Thank you for all the work in the landfill. It looks stunning so far.
Yes,
So,
thank you.
incredible amount of earth moving, and really impressed with the updates. So,
Great. Thank you.
Yeah.
We're looking forward to this year.
yeah, no, thanks for all the work. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Did I tell you that ChargePoint paid me back the $226?
Outstanding.
Yeah.
Good for them.
However, I think a sign would be really helpful that says, after a certain amount of time, you're going to be charged $1 a minute. I think that would really help. I've heard other people talk about this too, so.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you.
And windshield wiper fluid.
Oh, jeez.
You do need that.
I'm telling you, if you get charging an Eagle, they've got windshield wiper fluid.
Well, then charge
At
your
the
car to
Wendy's?
Eagle.
Yeah, at the Wendy's. Yeah.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hi.
Do we have folks joining you online?
I don't think so, but we can check.
It's really hot.
All right. Hello, Board of County Commissioners. Liz Woods, Finance Director, Treasurer, and Public Trustee, here with two separate single read resolutions. Just to let you know, the title on the agenda is slightly different than the title on the actual resolution, so please use the title on the resolution when you're approving it.
Slightly longer.
Yes, it's slightly longer. Thank you. So the first resolution we have is for the airport. This is putting into place, similar to what we did for the dispatch COPs back in December. We are putting into place a resolution to allow ourselves to reimburse for any expenses that happen before we issue the bonds. So this just kind of covers our bases. It covers us from this point forward, plus back 60 days. This only is for construction costs. Everything that is like considered soft costs would be already covered just through the way that the bonds work. So this is only for construction costs.
It says both taxable and tax exempt. I'm not sure if that's an issue to anybody, but basically we're just, again, kind of covering our bases in case of whatever happens with actual financing. So we are expecting both of these sets of bonds to be tax exempt, but again, we're just kind of covering ourselves. So any questions on this one? This is for the airport, the first one.
A couple.
Yes, please.
Kutek Rock has a signature page. Do we need a notary for the 2 signature pages that are in the packet? Pages 69 and 76.
Pulling that up.
And I can hand them to you as well. It's really just,
Yeah,
while
if
we
you-
have everyone here, I just want to make sure if we need a notary and we need these back to you, these were in the packet from Kutek Rock. Do you need a notary? Do you need them back to us? And then I'm assuming both 7 and 8, we should read from the resolutions, not from the agenda.
Correct.
Both, okay.
That one for sure, correct.
Thank you.
We did not do this. Rye, do you have an opinion on this? I do not think we did this on the dispatch COPs,
didn't,
but I
that's
just
what-
wanted to see if.
I'm looking at Kelly also, yeah. And we're happy to provide it, but I just want to make sure that we
Yeah, thank you.
notarize it today if you need them today. It looked like half a notary.
Yeah, this is I don't think it needs a notary because it's not a notary block, although I do see one could be led to believe it is. So I think we just need to fill it in and make sure we have the correct board members present. Obviously, we have an absentee today.
Yeah.
Is today the second reading? Yes.
It's the first reading and it's a 1 reading resolution.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Would
So
you-
no notary. Fill it out accordingly.
Okay.
So we should get Kelly's signature before.
It's just, I think it's
I
just,
don't think it's a signature
I
requirement.
think it's just we can check those off and.
we went through the process.
Yep.
Okay.
I have email through Monday.
I think we're good there. So,
Good, I have a lot of stuff I'm
thank
gonna
you for
say.
checking.
I'm just dotting
Yep.
I's. I'm
Yep,
sorry.
I appreciate that.
Um,
Any other questions?
Called officious at least once today. Any further questions for either Ann or Liz? Let's call officious in the hallway.
I
I didn't call you official.
I have a comment, if you don't mind. This is because I like to take advantage of the grassroots, just to let the public know that dirt will be moved sometime this summer, 2026. We're going to start. I don't want people to freak out when they see trucks moving dirt at the airport, but we are going to be doing work at the airport this summer, late summer probably, doing what we can do outside the obstacle-free zone at the airport to get us set up for construction to start, big-time construction to start in 2027. So I just want the public, in any opportunity I have to let the public know. Hopefully, different people will be listening, so they'll be prepared to see some activity out there. Thank you.
One more question on number 7. Are we getting 2 rating agencies this time rather than just S&P, given the size of the bond?
Most likely, yes, we will be doing multiple rating agencies. We have not finalized that plan yet because we're still working through the financing plan, but yes, that is most likely the case.
And for the public, we were AA, which came up from AA-, which was due to the fact that we also did bonding insurance.
Correct.
Thank you.
That was for the solid waste center
Waste center.
bonds. So this will be.
Unrelated.
Yes, so it'll be.
Enterprise revenue stream.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that will be, it'll be a kind of a whole new ballgame when we do the airport revenue bonds.
Wonderful. Questions on number 7? I'm happy to read the resolution. Full
Happy
title.
to make a motion to approve the resolution you're going to read.
Resolution of the Board of County Commissioners of Pitkin County, Colorado, declaring the official intent of the county to reimburse itself with the proceeds of future taxable or tax-exempt bonds for certain capital expenditures to be undertaken by Pitkin County with respect to Aspen-Pitkin County Airport, identifying said capital expenditures and the funds to be used for such payment, and providing certain other matters in connection therewith.
I'll second.
Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Patty. Further questions, comments? All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Unanimity. Please don't go anywhere. Number 8,
Thank
healthy
you very
rivers and
much.
streams.
Yes. So we are putting this into place because the Healthy Rivers and Streams Fund That sales tax was approved by the voters back in 2008. At the same time, there was also debt that was approved as part of that same question. So the voters approved $12 million of bonds at that same time. We have as was seen at the last meeting for the BoCC, there is a upcoming purchase of some water rights that is taking place, and we would like to use the bonds that we have been approved for to purchase those rights, but that it's going to take us time to get that bonding set up. That process will close in April, so we want to just, again, make sure that we have the approval to be able to basically reimburse ourselves once we do get those bonds in place for this purchase.
Questions for Liz or Ann? Again, the title on the resolution is slightly longer than what's in the on the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve
A resolution of the Board of County Commissioners of Pitkin County, Colorado, declaring the official intent of the county to reimburse itself with the proceeds of future taxable or tax-exempt bonds for certain capital expenditures to be undertaken by Pitkin County with respect to the Healthy Rivers and Streams Fund, identifying said capital expenditures and the funds to be used for such payment, and providing certain other matters in connection therewith.
And I'd just like to, again, thank the voters of Pitkin County for having initiated and approved the Healthy Rivers and Streams sales tax revenue and authorizing this bond capacity when it was established. And this has offered us the incredible opportunity to be able to buy additional shares from Twin Lakes and be able to flow more water down the Roaring Fork that was previously flowing to the east slope. So it's great. Thank you.
For an aggregate operation. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Patty. Further comments or questions? For those following Healthy Rivers and Streams, the water rights acquisition is also number 11 and 12 on today's agenda. So all those in favor?
Aye. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to argue that we go through both of Drew's, and then if we need a break before the water acquisition.
Great. I'm good. We can keep
Cool.
going.
Keep going.
Oh, okay.
I get to say paradise.
Paradise.
It's still my favorite farm name ever. It's cool. It's funny. Come on.
Share the screen. Cool.
I still like
Hey.
farm name.
Not this one, I love it.
Drew, great to see you.
Yeah, great
Go
to see you all
Rams.
too. Go Rams. Yeah, Drew Walters with Pitkin County Open Space Agriculture Specialist. We're going to miss you, Kelly. Thanks for all your public service.
Oh, thank you. It's nice of you to say.
So if you all want, we can start off with coke ovens. So this is second reading. I kind of went over a little bit more in depth during first reading. I thought I'd pull up a map to help us kind of go through any further questions or anything else like that for this agricultural lease. As just kind of a reminder, this agriculture lease, this is a lease extension. It went through an RFP a couple years ago, and this is a lease extension which we're permitted to do per our policy.
So a quick question for you. Any management changes on the ongoing lease? We talked a little bit about sort of man camp / the less than salubrious neighborhood on the south end of the parcel. Any cleanup expected from the leasee?
Yeah, we're going to continue working on that. It's, similar to the property, it's been better,
right.
But we're still not where we want to be with that. When I first started working for Open Space about 4 years ago, there was a lot more junk on the property. It was just kind of like a hoarder's spot for a long time. So it has improved, but there's definitely still some work. Josh did a good job last year of moving
a lot of the trailers into more designated parking areas, and we're going to try to continue to do that. This upcoming year is going to be it's going to be a bit of a juggling act because we do have quite a bit of bridge staging that's going to be located right behind the coke oven. So we're going to be juggling some other things. So it might not be.
It's going to be a mess, is what you're saying.
It might be a little bit necessary.
My question was really directed at, it's such a beautiful entrance to, the South Bridge and a beautiful entrance to Redstone.
Right.
That, we love Pitkin to be exemplary in terms of the way it shows off Redstone.
Absolutely. We would too. Yeah. We'll keep we'll keep working on it. For sure. That is sort of, always the thing that we're working on that property. The pasture management, that's what I've been real impressed with over the last few years.
Thank you. Further questions or comments regarding paradise?
No.
I guess one quick follow-up from last week, or the first reading, is Ryan and I went over the lease. I know there was a question from Francie as far as outfitting. We did add some language into that lease just to kind of clarify. And I don't think we had any other changes on that.
Not anything substantive. The only other thing we did is we added the individual as well as the entity to the lease, which has become our standard practice with our ag leases. So other than that, it looks good to go, I think.
Thanks for taking care of this, Drew, the hunting thing, but also just the land and your efforts to improve. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, thanks, Francie.
This is a public hearing and a second reading. We're looking in the workplace if there's anyone online that wishes to make comments regarding paradise. I won't say it again, I promise. Closing public comment and coming back to the board. I'd entertain a motion on second reading.
I'll make a motion to approve an ordinance of the Board of County Commissioners authorizing an agricultural lease of the coke ovens open space agricultural lease between the Board of County Commissioners and
Paradise Outfitters, Inc. Do I have a second?
Second.
Kelly. Any further commissioner comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Please stay where you are.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so rolling into
bread.
Rolling into Wheatley.
Yeah.
Paul did a good overview of kind of where this property is located, the scope of it. He didn't throw me under the bus, although that electrical issue, that was really my mistake. He helped clean it up. I was a little off. But this property, that irrigation improvement was a big deal on this property. It had been irrigated with a side roll. Now we have a big gun out there. It just allows a lot more flexibility on what that land can be used for. Generally, the property is pretty rocky, so it could use some soil improvements. And really, we looked at it, kind of all those different land uses and crops being grown, throughout the proposal to really see what is going to help this land over time. So this went through a RFP process in the fall. We had great applicants for it. All of those applicants, I think, could be great leaseholders for open space and trails. We ultimately decided, based on scoring through the applications, through the interviews, to move forward with Roaring Fork Mill as our recommendation. Really liked their production plan as far as rolling into kind of a slow production on the property while maintaining the alfalfa field. That's, generally they're not trying to bite off too much in the first few years, which I appreciate because that can be, seeing how land responds, especially degraded property like this, you could have a big weed problem pop up. So it's good they're kind of, piecemealing it together. And yeah, so that is sort of, I'm happy to answer any questions on this lease. I kind of went a little bit more in depth on the first read.
Francie.
As I said last time, I love this application. I think grain is a really good way to start reconstituting the land. And I thoroughly approve of this. I think it's really great. Good choice.
Awesome. Thanks, Francie.
And Drew, what was the answer on the trailhead to the northwest part of the property? Is it a trailhead or is it just me ghetto switchback?
I don't think it's anything formal.
Yeah.
So there is certainly
It's like that draw.
It's a draw. There is
Yeah.
a trail that goes up there.
Yeah.
Do y'all remember? I don't want to get too off topic. Do
Um,
y'all remember when
I'm
there?
there.
Y'all remember when there were some rogue sheep on Lower River Road a couple years ago?
Funny.
There was some domestic sheep that got out. I chased them one time I was out there. I tried to wrangle them and I chased them up that draw. And there is a trail.
The draw's beautiful.
Are they still there?
No, they eventually they wound up kind of. You can see my cursor.
Yeah.
They wound up bunking up with. There were like some like small sheep that were in
Funny.
this little pen, and they bunked up with those sheep, and that's how they eventually got caught.
They bunked up with the sheep.
Thank you for the enjoyable digression. I brought us there, but thank you.
There's a lot of different users that use that trail.
Yes, absolutely.
So this is a public hearing and second reading, opening it up to the workplace for public comment. In the room, seeing no public comment, I'm closing it and bring it back to the board. Any further questions, comments for Drew regarding wheat on Wheatley?
I'll make a motion.
Yeah.
Make a motion to approve an ordinance authorizing an agricultural lease of the Wheatley Open Space Agricultural Lease between the Board of County Commissioners and the Roaring Fork Mill.
Excellent. First by Francie,
I'll second.
second by Kelly. Any
I
further?
wish them great success.
Yeah, no kidding.
No, it's a stunning spot right off the Rio Grande, so
I'm
looking
gonna
forward
miss
to
the
success
potato
there.
blossoms, though.
Yeah.
I'll buy their flour.
Yeah, thank you. You got a couple clients at the board, so thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Drew, thank you so much for both presentations.
Drew.
All right, thank you all.
So next up, we have half of the water team or a quarter of the water team here. So we will take a 5-minute break as we look for legal assistance. Grassroots, we're on a 5. Welcome back to the Board of County Commissioners regular meeting on Wednesday, February 11th. It's 1:18 in the room. We're on agenda item number 11. What is the reference? Come on, give me the movie reference, someone. Our amps go to 11? Spinal Tap.
Oh,
Spinal Tap.
What is
We're on number
funny?
11. You guys, your cultural references
I
need
know
some
the
work.
reference.
Yeah.
I can understand why everyone in the room didn't quite get it.
So glad to laugh with you and smile with you, and we're on a really happy subject, which is water. Anne Marie McPhee and Connie Baker both join us regarding how we're going to pay for the water we just left in the Roaring Fork and brought back to the Roaring Fork. So thank you. And this is a second reading.
So the first resolution in front of you is the budget resolution, which appropriates $6,835,000 in the Healthy Rivers and Streams Fund. And that includes the acquisition of the water rights, a commission, and potential transaction costs. And it is necessary to appropriate the funds before entering into a contract by Colorado state statute. So that's why we're doing the budget resolution at this time.
Oh, okay.
Excellent. And for the public that just tuned in and had to hear my horrible Spinal Tap joke, this is approving the acquisition of 60 shares of Twin Lakes Reservoir and Canal Company and 34 shares of the Fountain Mutual Irrigation Company. Questions or comments? Please.
I just have a little point of clarification. Generally, we do.
You need to turn on your microphone, please.
Generally, we do supplementals quarterly, and I think you just kind of started to open that up as to why we're doing this supplemental separately at this time. So just for the public to understand a little more clearly, it's due to a time frame of having to appropriate the dollars prior to purchasing, prior to entering a contract.
That's correct.
And the contract is ready to go, and we're ready to sign because we're really excited about this purchase. So therefore, my understanding is, and that's why it's even ahead of it on the agenda, let alone ahead of it on our supplementals, which our first quarter are coming up in a couple
Coming
weeks.
up in the beginning of March, yes.
Perfect. Is there anything you want to add to that?
You know, there are times when on an entire fund level, there's enough other appropriation that's not committed in a fund to carry a project until we can bring forward that quarterly resolution. So there are times when that budget resolution is not as urgent. In this case, with a purchase of this size and the amount that's appropriate in the fund, it's really absolutely necessary to do that budget resolution now out of cycle so that we can have a timely approval of the contract and move forward with the purchase.
Thank you for the explanation.
I have a question for Anne Marie. Is this the first time that we've brought water back from the Front Range to the Western Slope in Colorado?
Aurora agreement.
Yeah, we have the Aurora.
Oh, that's right,
deal
yeah, with John.
With the Busk Ivanhoe.
Yeah,
So,
right.
yeah, the county's getting creative in finding ways to keep the water over on this side. But this is the first outright purchase that we've done of Twin Lake shares.
And the whole Western Slope, not just Picken, right?
I believe so.
I think so too.
Mm-hmm.
Patricia.
And I think this kind of overlaps into the next item on our agenda too. I think what's really important for the public to know is that they're going to notice this. It's going to be enough water that people will be able to tell that there's more water in the river. And I have a question though as to, maybe I can ask it now or the next one. I'm going to ask it now. The timing, will we be seeing any water this year?
Hopefully we will. We're going to work with the Twin Lakes company, their team, the operations team on that. Twin Lakes does have some projects they're going to be doing up at Grizzly as well this year. So it's going to be a interesting year just with all of it. So we will be talking with them starting, I think, in April after we close. We'll begin the conversation with them on that.
No, she's going to move you
Oh,
closer
sorry.
to that.
It's okay if I have to.
So,
Please.
we'll be beginning the conversation on that, but hopefully, yes, we should be seeing something this year. But
It'd be great.
It
if
might
we
be a little
if we have
funky.
water to put anywhere this year.
Yeah, this is the year to need it.
A weird coincidence that this record low water year is a year they're going to do more construction up at Grizzly, so that they won't be holding back as much water as they would in another year. So the river won't look as parched as
Right.
it would without that construction. So we may not notice the difference that these shares give us. It's not like the river's going to be roaring along with these extra shares, but they're important for sure. But don't expect the
a good
river to come roaring through because we're releasing some
So we're going
shares.
to get all that rain here in the next 24 hours.
Yeah,
or
this
something.
incredible forecast we've had. It's,
Yeah, but because of that project, this year in particular, it's going to be
There's a lot
different.
going on.
There's a lot going on.
Thank you.
Any budget questions before we move on to the next, which is actually the purchase or acquisition? So this is a second reading and public hearing. We're going to the workplace to see if anyone is online and has public comment. Back into the room. The board wishes to thank Healthy Rivers and Streams, Lisa Tasker, Lisa McDonald, Anne Marie McPhee, Richard Neely III. And again, really thank you to the board, Healthy Rivers and Streams, for all their work. And then the water team, I think also needs to be thanked, whether it's at this resolution or the next, but all of the work that the county's done to bring water back to the Western Slope. So thank you all for your efforts. And Kelly and Francie for last year have been serving as the water emissaries at the board. We all have outside duties, and so they've been meeting every Wednesday.
every other, but now it's just once a month right now.
So really looking at both the portfolio and the water assets the county has, but also informing this larger conversation about the acquisition. So thank you both.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion.
Did you open the public?
We opened and closed.
you
We
did.
looked at the workplace, and the workplace is quiet. It's my word for the Zoom.
All right, I'll make a
Francie.
motion to approve the resolution providing supplemental appropriations to the 2026 budget and amending the 2026 budget for water rights acquisition.
No,
Second.
Second. And so I've got further discussion, but I've got Lisa at the table, so I think you're here for the next one. Wonderful. Man, prompt, cool. Further board discussion, debate, dialogue regarding the funding of the water acquisition. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you so much. Please don't go anywhere. Oh, no, you can. Thanks. Thank you, Connie.
Thanks, Connie.
Thank you.
Anne Marie, you've got two more.
I do. It's a big day.
That's awesome. So item number 12, wow, switching financial seats. Welcome back, Ann. Liz, sorry. The table's yours.
All right. So this item on the agenda is the actual consideration of the contract to purchase the shares of both the Twin Lakes Reservoir and Irrigation Company, or Reservoir and Canal Company, and the Fountain Mutual Irrigation Company shares. It's a package deal. We'd be buying 60 shares in Twin Lakes and 34 shares in the Fountain Mutual Irrigation Company. We have agreed on the terms of the contract with the seller, Castle Concrete, and their parent company. And the sale is scheduled to close right now for April 2nd, 2026. We just did the budget amendment for those purchase funds. As we've discussed previously, currently the Twin Lakes shares are committed to a substitute water supply plan, but they will be released at the end of March, which will enable us to then move ahead with this purchase. We are working with the Twin Lakes company, their attorney, and their operations team on the details of how the releases will happen to occur on the Western Slope. We are also have our water broker looking for potential users down near DeBeck where the water can be diverted and placed to beneficial use. So we're in that process as well. With respect to the Fountain Mutual, we are also exploring options for what to do with the Fountain Mutual shares. be it trade for additional Twin Lake shares or sell to offset the costs. There is interest. We've already generated some interest on the eastern slope. This acquisition has made the news over there, so people know about it. The funding will be coming from ultimately be coming from the Healthy Rivers and Streams Fund. But as just discussed, we will initially, the purchase funds will come out of the general fund and then be reimbursed. And you considered that resolution earlier today. And then we have Liz here to discuss the issuance of the bonds and those details if you have questions regarding that. And then we do still have we're still within the due diligence period. So if for some reason something comes up and everybody wants to hit the brakes, we could do that. But right now, everything has looked good so far. So I think those are my details.
Questions for Lisa, Anne Marie, or Liz?
I just have a comment.
Please.
I again want to thank you, all of you, everybody who's been involved in this. This is something we've talked about. The paper misquoted me. It wasn't 12 years. It's 20-something years that I know we've been talking about the opportunity to purchase water to keep it on our side of the Continental Divide. And we're now actually able to do it, which is huge. It's a huge step, and it's showing, I think it's spurred a lot of interest from what I'm hearing in others who may be coming up with some more water we might be able to bring this way. It's critical for the health of, as I said, our watershed, our communities for generations to come, not just for those of us sitting at this table or in this room, but for our children and grandchildren and generations moving forward. So a huge thanks.
Thank you.
I'm going to add one more comment that I don't think we've had on the record, which is this is not a buy and dry, so we didn't buy it from an agricultural producer in the Front Range. We bought it from an aggregate producer in the Front Range. So the fact that it's going from an industrial use to beneficial use, and April's in the back, so I'm using all my buzzwords that I got from sitting on the Colorado River Roundtable for the last year on the western slope, is spectacular. I'd also add that this board has sat through presentations from both Healthy Rivers and Streams as well as Open Space and Trails, looking at both the Lincoln Creek Working Group as well as the status of North Star Nature Preserve, and how is that ecologically, how does that riparian area look in light of the fact that so much of our water is diverted to the Front Range. So after hearing both of those presentations, both Lincoln Creek Working Group as well as North Star, I think this acquisition really makes ecological sense for our valley and for our riparian areas. So thank you. Sorry to wax lyrical. Kelly.
I'll wax nostalgic a little bit since this is my last day, but I can't help but think of this and not think of John Ely, who, is just such a defender of the water and, really encouraged us to always keep some money saved in order for big acquisitions like this should the opportunity come. And this is definitely an honor to him and some of the groundwork he laid many years ago, and to all of you here around the table who are continuing that. And so I'm very proud to be part of this vote today.
Further, does anyone? It's the second time John Ely's come up today, and all with good stories. So thank you. Any further comments, questions?
I
Lisa,
do.
please.
I have a comment from our chair of the
Yeah.
Healthy Rivers and Streams Board. She is traveling today, otherwise she would have been able to pop on, but she did want me to read a little blurb from her. So her name is Kirsten Neff, too. Sorry, I meant to say that. We need to look no further than this season's dismal snowpack to understand the urgency of the threats, especially climate change, to the Roaring Fork River. We are seeing shortened spring runoffs and higher summer temperatures in the valley that are threatening our river's ecosystem, our way of life, and the health of our community. The Healthy Rivers Board recognized the value of this remarkable opportunity to secure more water for the Roaring Fork, flowing from its very headwaters at times of its greatest need. I want to reaffirm today the board's support for this landmark purchase of water rights for the benefit of the Roaring Fork River and the communities through which it flows.
Thank you, Kristen. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Lisa, and
Yep.
the board chair. It's nice to have that support.
Yep.
Further questions or comments? This is a public hearing. I'm opening it up to the Zoom workplace. Or anyone in the room? This is for an acquisition of 26 acre-feet of Fountain Mutual and 45 acre-feet from Grizzly is what we will produce. Any further discussions?
I'll make a motion.
Please.
This is 13, right?
Nope.
No,
that would
12.
be
Ordinance
that
of
would
the
be
Board of County
136
Commissioners
square feet.
Authorizing the acquisition of shares in the Twin Lakes Reservoir and Canal Company and Fountain Mutual Irrigation Company.
Excellent. Francie.
I'll second.
Excellent. Kelly. Any further discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, let's go.
So from acre feet to square feet, we are moving. We are moving to the big real estate transaction of the day, 136 square feet at the Aspen Sardi Field.
That is right. All right, so this next item on the agenda is regarding the lease for a guest services booth at the Picken County Airport Terminal.
Sorry.
ACRA has been operating the booth at the airport for years. The prior lease expired, but due to changes in different offices. I'm really not made for mics. That lease expired, so this is a replacement lease. So there's one point of interest that this is actually effective back in 2024, but it renews every year automatically unless terminated. So this catches everybody up. Regardless of that fact, ACRA has been paying for the rent as if the lease was in place. So we're just continuing that on. We've cleaned up the format with the lease. It's 136 square feet. It's based on the rental is based on the published rates and charges per foot. So rent for 2026 will generate $17,964. The lease does recognize that with the upcoming work at the airport, there may need to be changes to the space, and that the parties will work together to, on relocation or changes to the rent or whatever needs to happen, but we'll work in good faith to resolve those and move forward. They've been a great partner. And they will continue to provide guest services pursuant to a guest services agreement. The two of them go hand in hand, but just outlines how they greet our visitors and help the visitor experience.
Patty.
I'm scratching my eyebrow. Does that?
We're not going to play
You
poker
can't
together.
think of anything to say?
So
I do have something to say, but I thought I'd wait
I will
till.
start off and just say it's wonderful when you land and ACRA's there and there's a gentleman in a cowboy hat, and it's the most welcoming tenant we could possibly have at the airport.
Brett.
Friendly, just affable, really lovely, addition to the airport. And so you ignore the architecture and the baggage claim, the less than salubrious building that you've landed in, and you have this wonderful, warm, inviting team that is always there. So I'm very appreciative. Patty.
So I just want ACRA to know that in Jackson Hole, when people come in to baggage claim, they're very happy because their chamber is serving little cups of orange juice and little cups of mimosas.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, everybody was in a very good mood. And right next to their chamber, booth, they had raptors. They had a peregrine falcon and I don't remember what the other, live ones, real ones, on people's arms. It was pretty cool. So those are the kind of lessons we're learning from other terminals. I don't know how they got away with serving mimosas. I did not take one, but I wanted to bring the peregrine falcon home.
You want to make that clear to everybody?
Yeah, I did not have one. It was still a little early in the day. But anyway, yeah, but I too appreciate ACRA's presence there, the patience and the knowledge, and we'll work on the mimosas at the new terminal.
Any other questions for Anne Marie McPhee regarding the 136 square feet, $17,964 lease at the Aspen Sardi Field? I just like saying Sardi. This is a public hearing. I'm going to the Zoom workplace, seeing if there's any comments. I'm closing the public comments. Bring it back to the board. At this point, I would entertain a motion to approve the lease.
I'll make a motion to approve it, authorizing a guest services terminal space lease at the Aspen-Pickens County Airport between the Board of County Commissioners and the Aspen Chamber Resort Association.
And a second by Francie?
Yes.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 13 down, unanimity. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You are dismissed.
So from good leases to good deeds. Ashley Pearl and April Long, thank you both for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Please reintroduce yourself, the new and improved April Long.
I'm April Long. I'm the Executive Director of the West Mountain Regional Housing Coalition.
Excellent. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Ashley Pearl. I'm the Housing and Resiliency Director for the county. We're here on second reading with a resolution that would approve a grant agreement between the county and the West Mountain Regional Housing Coalition, specifically to fund the Good Deeds program in 2026 with $1 million from the county's Housing Property Tax Fund, or the Affordable and Workforce Housing Mill Levy. And April presented during first reading on the Good Deeds program, where it started, where it's been, and how this money would be used. I think you have a few just quick reminder highlights if the board would like them.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's, I'm here to answer questions from the staff perspective.
Thank you. Thanks for having me again today. Just as a reminder, the Good Deeds program is a program that the Housing Coalition started in 2024 with funding from Pickens County and other local governments. With that funding, we help local qualified buyers purchase homes off of the free market, and in exchange for a deed restriction that locks that home into a more affordable price moving forward. In the last 2 years, we have received almost $4.5 million from local government partners in the Housing Coalition, and have been able to purchase now 20 homes or deed restrictions on these homes. And the homes range from Rifle all the way up through Carbondale. So again, 20 homes, that's more than 30 local employees in those homes. And this year, we are asking for $1 million from Pickens County. We have already received $250,000 from Snowmass and $100,000 from Glenwood Springs, and I will be picking up a check for $100,000 today from Carbondale. And we just were notified that CMC will be contributing to this program for the first time with $100,000 as well. And so we are hoping to grow our funds to $2.5 million this year, so that we can secure another 11 homes in that program and meet our goal of having 30 homes by the end of 2026.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Any interaction with either the school district or the hospital in terms of either funding or interest from a buyer standpoint?
Yes.
Well, so two-side question.
Okay, so from the organizations themselves, I have presented and continue to have conversations with both of their housing directors on how they can participate in the program for their employees. And we're looking at partnership agreements where if they have an employee that is a buyer, they could potentially share in the cost, that 30% that we put down. So we're working on that program this year. Aside from that, the Roaring Fork School District, of the more than 30 people that we have housed in these 20 homes, at least 5 of them have come from the Roaring Fork School District. And no Aspen Valley Hospital employees yet, but several Valley View Hospital employees are participating in the program.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
The first one was a Valley View.
And the one I'm closing on Monday is a Valley View.
Great.
Tuesday, a Valley View employee as well.
Further questions for Ashley or April? This is a public hearing. I'm opening up the Zoom workplace. Kurt's been very quiet all afternoon. Bring it back. I'm closing the public comments, public hearing. Any further board questions or comments? Otherwise, I would entertain a motion for our second reading.
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution of the Board of County Commissioners approving a grant agreement with the West Mountain Regional Housing Coalition to support the Good Deeds program.
A second.
Excellent. Patty, any further discussion?
Thank you.
Yeah, congratulations.
Great
Thank
program.
Thank you so much. Could not do it without your support. Thank you.
Likewise. Thanks for joining us. Thank you. Thanks, Ashley. Oh, and all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We're unanimous.
Excellent.
But it's okay. You can back. It's like
Glad we didn't miss that step.
It's kind of like my uncle who would always clear the table before while people were still eating. You know?
Thank you.
And we'll be back, if not before mid-year, with an update from West Mountain.
Oh, wonderful. Looking
Yeah.
forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, and thank you for that snippet. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah. So in the room, we have the interim county manager, Kara Silbernacle, for items number 15 and 16, before we get to Kurt Dahl, who's been patient with his e-health innovation.
All right, commissioners, before you, I'll do the first one is a second reading for the Board of County Commissioners to set the salary for elected officials other than county commissioners. As you recall, per the Home Rule Charter, Pitkin County Board of County Commissioners has the authority to set the salaries for the other electeds, which would be the sheriff, sheriff, clerk and recorder, and assessor, not the treasurer. And based on prior direction from the board and prior policy, we align those salaries with the state schedule, and the board is interested in moving from category 2B to 1A. So the resolution before you today would move the salaries of those elected officials. And so 1A would put the sheriff at $2,001.926 for the term beginning in 2027. And the assessor and clerks would be at $158,669 for terms beginning in 2027, and that change would be effective upon second reading, passage at second reading today.
Questions for Kara regarding elected officials outside of commissioners?
No, I'm glad we're taking this step. And if anyone is interested in running against the incumbents who've already filed, please visit pitkinvotes.com for candidate paperwork and information about deadlines.
Yeah, and we have 5 elections locally this year, so the clerk, the assessor, the sheriff, as well as District 1 and District 2.
Correct.
This is a public, any
I have got comments. Yeah, first of all, Kelly, thanks for bringing that up. It's my understanding that no one has yet filed against the 3 incumbents for those 3 offices. Everybody seems to be filing to run for my seat. We don't know about what's going to happen with Kelly's seat if nobody's actually come out to run for the office, but we had 10 people come out to be appointed to that seat. That being said, I will not be supporting this, as I did not on first reading. My concern is to keep money in the general fund, and that we're not just jumping up partially, we're going right to the top of the pay scale. Not that I don't feel, especially with the sheriff, that some increase is warranted. My concern is more about keeping money in the general fund, because we don't know what further federal cuts may be coming our way. I know we have an emergency fund, but one wildfire could wipe out our emergency fund. I'm just concerned about keeping food on people's tables, roofs over people's heads, utilities, child care stipends if need be. That is kind of a priority for me. And again, when we started discussing this, I had to go to payroll and find out how much money I actually make a year, because I didn't really know, because everything gets taken out in every paycheck. So I think that for me says I didn't run for the job for the money, I ran for the job to serve the community. But I know this will move forward. So I hope people spend their new salaries wisely and maybe contribute to worthy causes with some of their extra money in their pockets.
Francie?
I thought you voted for this one and
No,
against
I
the
voted
next
no
one.
on both.
Oh, I thought you voted yes on this one. Well, I'm going to vote yes on this one.
Further questions or comments for the interim county manager? So there's a public hearing. I won't say workplace again. We're opening up the Zoom.
Thank you.
It's the name of the software. Just, you know. We're closing the public hearing. We're bringing it back to the board. Further questions or comments for the interim county manager regarding salaries for elected officials other than county commissioners? Do I have?
No, I'll just thank the press for covering this when we talked about it at first reading. It's important that the public's aware.
Yeah, agreed. Further questions or comments? I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Francie?
To approve the resolution of the Board of County Commissioners setting salaries for elected officials other than county commissioners.
I'll second.
Excellent. Kelly? Further questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
I'm opposed.
So the motion passes 3-1. We're moving on to number 16 on the agenda, which is increases in salaries for county commissioners pursuing a state legislative change. So it's a different process from Category 2B to Category 1A. And this would cover the 5 people at the board table. And as our county attorney will point out, it is a prospective change. It would not impact anyone's compensation until they're reseated or reelected.
So thank you, Jeffrey. So the resolution before you, as you pointed out, per the Home Rule Charter, it is a different process for setting up the salaries for county commissioners. The Home Rule Charter states following state statute process. State statute process does allow home rule counties to set their own. So we have, it may appear circular, but the Home Rule Charter requires us to follow the state statute process, which does require a legislative change if you wanted to change from a different category. So currently, Pitkin County is 2B. The board has a desire to pursue Category 1A. We do, and so this resolution would allow you all to pursue that legislative change this session. Again, that would be effective for any commissioners' new terms beginning in 2027. So that would be for District 1 and 2. Any changes to Districts 3, 4, and 5 would be in terms beginning in 2029. What we do understand is CCI is carrying this bill. There's at least one other county interested and plans to introduce in March. So if the board chooses to approve this on second reading, we would be added into that bill, and it would be still subject to the state legislative process.
Excellent. Questions for the interim county manager? Kara?
No, thanks for getting that going.
Thank you. I will add to the presentation that Rep. Velasco would be our rep on this bill. Senator Simpson would carry it in the Senate. Megan McKillop is our legislative or lobbyist who would carry this. And in order to go through the House and Senate, the Senator Simpson has requested that we do hold public hearings. So this is part of that public process in terms of changes to elected officials, county commissioners' salaries. So we've held a work session and now to read for the resolution.
I'll make a motion.
We need public comment first.
No, sorry.
I have a comment.
Yeah. You want to do it after public?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're opening the public comment on the Zoom. We are closing public comment on the Zoom. Bringing it back to the board. Public comments closed. Commissioner Clapper.
Yeah, my comments are the same. I would rather that we keep the money in our general fund rather than paying elected officials more money. My concern is putting food on people's tables, health care in rural communities especially, subsidized child care, all the things that we're finding cuts coming from the federal government, senior services. Again, I know we have a reserve fund, emergency fund, and again, One wildfire may take that whole fund. We don't know. We are a lot of unknowns coming up this next year or so, both with federal cuts and with our drought situation. Again, saying that we're not just jumping up one notch, we're jumping to the top of the pay scale. And I know it has to go through a legislative issue, or it could be amended in our home rule charter. If anything, I would rather the voters in Pitkin County have the opportunity to amend the home rule charter, but the board is choosing to go to state legislature to get it changed that way. So I will not be supporting this for those various reasons. But thank you guys for taking the time.
Thank you, Patty. Further commissioner comments? I would entertain a motion at this point.
Alrighty, I'll do it.
Francie.
Resolution of the Board of County Commissioners authorizing an increase in salaries for county commissioners pursuing a state legislative change from Category 2B to Category 1A.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Excellent. Further comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
I am opposed.
We are 3-1. The motion passes. Everyone good to continue with the last two items of the afternoon?
Yeah, let's go.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Is it snowing on Aspen Mountain?
Well, it's cloudy.
Looks like
So
that.
Kurt Dahl has his hand raised and he would love a promotion. Mr. Dahl, eHealth Innovation is all yours. For those of you following along at home, we're on page 406. Mr. Dahl, the floor is yours.
He waited so patiently, he fell asleep, and we don't know where
I want to
he-
know if it's PG Woodhouse. It's also on Zoom. Kurt, welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Jeffrey.
We're gonna adjust your
got a
volume one
promotion. I
second
was
before you
excited.
start. Sorry.
I just heard I was being promoted. I was wondering what I was being promoted to, but it's just a Zoom piece, so.
I can't.
Kurt, we're still working on your volume, so don't start just quite yet. You've been promoted to the primus inter pares.
Oh, you're gonna make me go study Latin again.
You know, from movie references to Latin, it's just that
Are
kind of
those
day.
redwoods?
Redwoods or sequoias? What do you have?
Redwoods.
Get it right.
Checking for blood. I just got tagged by Patty at the board table. Kurt, the floor is yours. I think we've worked on the volume
I know my
sufficiently.
trees.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Kurt Dahl, Environmental Health Manager for Public Health. I'm here today for a confirmatory hearing for an emergency resolution that we presented last time. I had Logan Hood with me, was the Executive Director of Community Health Services.
Oh, Kurt, hold on one second. Kurt, just hold on one second.
Sure.
Oh, can you get closer to your mic or your Bluetooth or?
I am on headphones.
He's just, is he mumbling or is it mumbly or is it me?
Let me retry reconnecting my headphones. They've been giving me problems.
Okay.
If you guys can read that, it's probably, because I think it's his physical mic.
It's, we're going old school with Milli Vanilli in the room.
That's real old school.
All right. I think we're good. I think that's the best we're going to get. But if you're resetting, we'll wait for you.
Let me check my audio.
You're back. We're ready to go. We've got.
Okay. We're good?
Yeah, we're closed caption in the room. It's pretty fancy.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, thank you, and I appreciated your movie reference to Spinal Tap. So, Kurt Dahl, Environmental Health Manager for Public Health. I'm here for a confirmatory hearing on an emergency resolution that we presented 2 weeks ago. Last time I was here, I had Logan Hood with the Community Health Services, the Executive Director. talking about this grant. The grant is from the Office of eHealth Innovation with the state, and it's for a fairly small grant, $21,974 to be used for promotion of use of a health information exchange. The reason that public health is applying for this grant, and we're serving as the fiscal agent for this grant, Community Health Services is providing the deliverables for the grant. And that's because the grant itself is only available to local public health agencies, local governments, that sort of thing. So our role here is just fiscal. So the grant itself is for the use of funding to promote the building of a compatible health information exchange. In this case, CHS is using this to implement an electronic health record system known as LEAP. And that's a patient portal system that allows patients to use a mobile device to message providers, schedule health visits or telehealth visits, request labs and prescription refills, that sort of piece. So CHS is using that to not only implement the system, but utilize it for training purposes for their staff as well. So one of the things that we noticed, Jeanette Jones noticed, was that the resolution that we had in the packet has an error in it. And so the resolution itself, line 5, includes a reference to an ordinance. And one of the things that I was going to ask is if we approve this, if there could be a motion as part of the motion to remove that. I believe Jeanette, Jeffrey, I know you talked to Jeanette. I think she was going to distribute an updated resolution. Is that correct?
Yeah, so Kurt, we all have on our desk an updated resolution where paragraph 6, it starts, whereas the BoCC finds the adoption of this ordinance is highlighted and it is to be deleted. So we will adopt as amended in this room.
Okay. And thank you for that. Apologies. That's a reference to an ordinance that I missed when I did a good job of utilizing the Jeanette's draft form for me, but then I didn't realize that there was that ordinance in there, so that was my fault. So thank you for making that correction.
You made up for it in all your snappy icons in the AIS, so you're good.
That I have to give Logan credit for that. That was actually her snappy icons, but I appreciated that. I thought it was a nice addition. So, so I think with that, are there any questions?
So do we need to take public comments? Emergency ordinance, confirmatory reading?
Confirmatory.
Yeah, so any questions for Kurt Dahl before I open to public comment?
Thank you, Kurt.
Kurt, thank you. Opening public comment, Mr. Isaac or PG Woodhouse.
Who's PG Woodhouse?
Closing public comment, bring it back to the room. Any further commissioner questions or comments for the Redwoods?
I'll make a motion to approve as amended on our copies at the dais here, the emergency resolution of the BoCC approving the Colorado Office of eHealth Innovation Connected Care for Rural Colorado grant.
Is there a second? Excellent. Further questions or comments? Again, in the room, we're deleting paragraph number 6 and adopting as amended at the dais. Further questions, comments? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Kurt, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, everyone, and
Thanks.
apologies for not being there. You were moving through your agenda really quickly, so I
No worries.
assumed I would be much later.
It's the mint tea.
I need the time.
We're excited about the next cake.
Yes.
So we are moving on to individual consideration item, emergency resolution set for confirmatory public hearing on February 26th. Kevin Warner has joined us regarding the Phillips Mobile Home Park community.
Good afternoon. Thank you. So first I want to start off with an apology for having to bring to you an emergency resolution, and then also for having to change that at the last minute. I do believe that Kara distributed, or no? Okay. And there you go.
I was just looking for it.
There we go. So for some in the room, I believe you have not seen this AIS packet because it came in late. And then we made some minor modifications to it just recently as well. So for those of you that have looked at it, it's just in the cost estimate. So, but before you, what you have is a request for authorization to apply for a DOLA EIAF grant. And that grant would be for the water wells portion of the Phillips Mobile Home project, and to request a $200,000 grant from DOLA. That is in their tier 1 for the EIAF grants this year or this cycle. And there's 2 tiers, one up to 200,000 and then another one from 200,000 to $1 million. And there's only about $15 million available statewide this year, or this cycle. And so we felt like this was something that was still a reasonable ask. It does, the total cost estimate right now of putting in 2 new wells and abandoning the existing wells that are at the end of their lifespan would be approximately $617,000. That's the update from the packet that you did receive, was from a approximation of about $600,000 to $617,000. There's a little addition there. So that is the nuts and bolts of it. We don't right now. I will say that the water wells portion of this was not fully included in the larger picture, and so therefore this grant would be incredibly helpful to help do this. Right now we're looking at value engineering and doing all that with the rest of the project to try to find the additional 417 or the total for 617. So the 200 would be helpful.
So, Kelly.
What is the extent of the piping? Well, let me back up. Is this, how is this cost developed? Is it based on a bid?
So we have in your packet there, it is not based on a bid. It's based on a opinion of probable cost that we got from JVA engineering group to go ahead and look at what they believe based on, again, the costing for well performance testing, for the water quality testing, the drilling, creation of a well pad, the pumps. You got to bring electricity to the pumps as well. So everything that goes along with that was done through their opinion of probable cost based on past experiences. The capping and abandoning of the other 2 wells was done by our owner's representative at Wember, and they pulled together their best estimation of costs there as well.
Okay. Just because based on my experience, our probable cost to our bid at 3 Mile was double. So I hope that's not the case.
If you do look at it, they do have some. They do have 30% contingency built into this, which is a lot of contingency. But I think that's intended to make up for some of those unknowns. And so, that's something we're experiencing across a lot of other projects where that's why we spent so much time going backwards on the electrification project, and others is that same scenario.
Is the $200,000 based on a proportion of the total, or is that just the max amount you can?
That's the max amount that you can apply for and keep it in the tier 1, and we felt like that was probably where this type of project belonged.
It doesn't matter if it's a higher bid anyway. You're only going to ask.
That's what we're asking for at this point. Right now, we've the grant application would show that we're matching their funds, a little more than 2 to 1.
Mm-hmm.
Francie.
Okay, thanks.
Do the residences pull directly from the wells, or is there a big cistern that the wells go to first, or how is the water dispersed?
The current scenario,
Ideal scenario.
the ideal scenario in the future would be that there would be a water storage tank that these 2 wells would feed. There's actually 3 wells on the property currently. We would be abandoning all 3 in the long term, but for now we'd be abandoning 2 of them that are on the east side of the river and leaving the one on the west side of the river in place until we needed to get rid of that one as well.
And that's the water storage tank that's up above, obviously.
Correct.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you.
They allow for longer treatment times when you store the water.
So you had mentioned that clearly the goal of the asset program, construction asset, would be to find additional funding to fill in the blank for the 417 remaining. Is there any chance of a USDA rural water grant? Do those still exist?
My understanding is that most of the federal grants that we could apply for related to this project or we could have in the past are just not really available right now. They asked the same question. The state looks for that, and through the folks at Sustainable Strategies, they told us that most of that's dried up.
No pun. Thank you. Yes. Yeah. Further questions for Kevin?
I'll make a motion to approve on emergency first reading and set for confirmatory reading on February 25th. A resolution of the BoCC authorizing submission of an application for a grant from the Department of Local Affairs Energy and Mineral Impact Assistance Fund for the completion of Phillips Mobile Home Park Water Well Development Project. And if awarded, authorize the chair to sign the grant agreement.
Awesome.
Francie. Kelly McNicholas Curry makes the final motion of her career in Pitkin County.
Oh, no, I still get to motion to adjourn.
All those in favor?
Aye. Aye. Thanks. Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you.
Thank you. Best of luck.
So we do not have a number 19 on the agenda, no additions. We do have open discussion before we adjourn.
I just have one clarification from open discussion yesterday from Charlotte on the AAB. So just to clarify, we open up all vacancies per the Home Rule Charter to the public and anyone that is interested in renewing. The question on the table was, for some boards, you choose to not interview those that are renewing, but would interview other candidates or applicants that are interested. But for some boards, such as P&Z, Open Space and Trails, Healthy Rivers, you also interview anyone that is also renewing. And so I think the direction that I heard from the board yesterday is that we would bring anyone interested in the 2 AAB seats, renewing or new, to the board for interviews.
That's what we said?
We were exploring it. I think there were 2 candidates. It was Howie and Bruce Gordon. And again, I think the part of the conversation was, it's nice to check in with the appointed board members 2 years or 3 years into their tenure, because the board also gets the benefit of what's working and what's not working. That we don't sit on the AAB or go to the AAB regularly, but hearing from members as they choose to renew, they go through the same application process as a new recruit.
Yeah.
So I think my push would be, given the importance of the AAB, that it would be nice to hear from those folks how things are going.
I think the other side of that was, if somebody was to apply who wasn't renewing, then we would interview both. But if the board wants to have Bruce and who's the other?
Howie Mallory.
And Howie come in. Don't know either of those guys. I'd love to meet them for the first time.
So does it have to be opened up for other applications, or can we renew them and not open it up?
You have to open it up and accept others' applications per the charter.
So the question is, do we want to interview Howie and Bruce?
It's sort of the precedent.
Regardless of whether or not anybody else
exactly.
applies.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of feel like if there aren't other applicants, I kind of feel like we could leave it to the future to see if we have other applicants that we want to consider, then we would have to interview them. But if we don't, then we wouldn't. Is that too loosey-goosey?
I don't have a problem with that. Jeffrey wants to help give them the opportunity to come before us.
I'm okay with that, too.
But, trust me, if either one of those gentlemen had comments, we would have heard from them.
They might enjoy coming and talking to us about the.
So let's have them come back in and
Yeah,
interview.
that's fine.
Okay. Right.
I'm going to refrain from an opinion on that.
No, we're sending them to have an interview with you.
Further,
They can bring back the maple
snow.
cream or whatever it is.
Please bring back the snow.
further open discussion items, Rye or Kara? Patricia?
Yeah, I would like for us at some point, I don't know when, but not 11 months from now, but sooner than that, for us to have a discussion about our public hearing process. I don't know how we would go about it. We have agreed to allow public comment for the appointment for Kelly's seat at both first and second readings, and one of them was nice to know what people have to say before the second reading. And we've talked about that just in general with any of our resolutions. You know, why do people already say, well, you've already approved it if I come in at second reading for my public comment. So I'd like to just see if we want to change that to have public hearing at first readings or at both readings, just to have a discussion to see how we might want to approach it, because we've talked about this for years and never really addressed the issue at hand. So I'd just like to reserve some time to have that discussion.
So would that include a refresher in terms of open meetings or existing state statute or?
I don't think so. The general, well, let's see. The practice, as I understood it, particularly with respect to land use decisions that involved two readings, was to ensure that there was the availability for public comment on first reading, and that has been the case historically. If we wanted to provide the opportunity for public comment on first reading of all ordinances and formal actions, both of those BoCC actions take two readings, we would simply need to adjust our noticing to let the public know that we would take public comment or have public hearing on the first reading of that particular action. So we can certainly work with the clerk to the board and things like that to get that change made if the board wants. And I can't say exactly what the logistics around that would be right now, but it likely would change up our publishing schedule and things like that. But none of those are impediments to actually getting that task done or that direction done.
And so, well, you're recommending that we have public comment at first readings and second readings?
I'm just recommending we have a discussion. I don't know where I'm going to stand at the end of the day, but it keeps coming up.
Okay.
First or second. I would just like to have a discussion so the board would know how it would work logistically, time-wise, et cetera. So
Okay.
sometime in the near future, having a work session wouldn't be a long, but knock on wood.
Yeah, and the reason we've had more flexibility for things, well, for like land use determinations is because in our quasi-judicial process for land use applications, first reading is, or notice of the hearing includes first reading. So we are able to hold a public hearing on that day, and it's typically required in the quasi-judicial process that you do that. Then you keep the hearing open for as many meetings as required to conclude the matter. That is a due process type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
The issue of when you take public comment on your BoCC actions on formal resolutions and ordinances, to some extent is set out by preference of the board. There's nothing in the Home Rule Charter that says first reading shall not be a public hearing and second reading shall be a public hearing on an ordinance.
Okay. Well, let's discuss it later.
Yeah, just so we have some time slotted.
Maybe
Thank you.
Karen and I can come up with a recommendation for the board, or at least some information for you to consider what that would take, so.
Great.
That would be helpful. Thank you. Further open discussion. Kelly,
I would
you
like to make a statement, just say it's been one of the great pleasures of my life to represent the people of Pickens County and serve with you all and work with you all. And I will move to adjourn.
I will second the move to adjourn.
I'll third it.
Just in time.
Right in time for cake. He already took cake on the way by. We haven't even
All those
had
in
it.
favor, all those in favor of adjournment?
Aye.
Aye.
Grassroots, you guys rock.
Thank you,
so much.
Grassroots.
All right, well, I'm gonna cut.